Title: The Ghost in the Machine. How OmniCore faked $400 billion in AI description in May 2026. The most explosive whistleblower leak in tech history revealed that America's hottest AI startup was powered by humans, not algorithms. This is the story of how OmniCore Systems fabricated its breakthrough, fooled Silicon Valley, and triggered a $400 billion market crash in a single day. Tags: corporate fraud, AI hoax, whistleblower, startup scandal, white-collar crime documentary, expose, SEC fraud investigation. Script: in May 2026, a single spreadsheet of internal Slack messages erased $400 billion in market value in under 3 hours. The company at the center? OmniCore Systems. The accusation? That their revolutionary artificial intelligence was never intelligent at all. It was a warehouse full of humans in Manila pretending to be machines. If you've been watching the news, you've heard the name OmniCore. For 2 years, it was the darling of Silicon Valley, a startup that promised to leapfrog OpenAI and Google with a model called Ether that could write novels, diagnose diseases, and generate three-dimensional blueprints from a single sentence. By April 2026, OmniCore was valued at $180 billion. Investors included Sequoia Capital, Andreessen Horowitz, and the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Abu Dhabi. But on May 12, 2026, a 27-year-old former contractor named Elena Vazquez uploaded 14 gigabytes of internal files to a secure server. Her employer had sold the world a ghost, and when she pulled back the curtain, the entire market panicked. Section 1. The Promise. Let's go back to the beginning. OmniCore was founded in 2022 by two brothers, James and Thomas Crawford. James was the face, a charismatic Stanford dropout who had previously sold a robotics company to Amazon for $350 million. Thomas was the brains, a PhD in computational neuroscience who claimed he had cracked the code to true reasoning in AI. Their pitch was simple. While everyone else was building large language models that simply predicted the next word, Ether could reason. It could infer cause and effect. It could solve problems it had never seen before. In a leaked demo from August 2023, James Crawford showed Ether diagnosing a rare genetic disorder after being given only a patient's symptoms and a list of medications. The clip went viral. "This isn't a chatbot," Crawford said on stage at TechCrunch Disrupt. "This is the first spark of synthetic consciousness." By early 2025, revenue was reportedly $2 billion annually. Fortune 500 companies signed contracts worth tens of millions. The promise was intoxicating, but the reality, as Elena Vazquez would discover, was something else entirely. Section 2. The Warehouse. Elena Vazquez was hired in January 2025 as a quality assurance analyst. She was one of 300 employees working out of a nondescript office building in the Bonifacio Global City District of Manila, Philippines. No one told her what she was really doing until her second week. On her first day, she was given a script book and a headset. Her job? Respond to client queries as Ether. If a doctor asked the AI to recommend a treatment plan, Elena would open a custom interface showing the patient's data, type a response that sounded like an AI, and hit send. The client never knew they were talking to a person. But here's the key. The response had to be delivered in under 90 seconds. The expectation was that the client believed they were interacting with an instantaneous machine. If a query was too complex, Elena would escalate it to a Tier 2 operator, a licensed physician or lawyer in an adjoining room. There were 1,200 of them in Manila alone. In total, across 3 facilities in the Philippines, India, and Colombia, OmniCore employed nearly 10,000 human beings generating every single Ether response. The Whistleblower file Vasquez leak includes internal performance metrics from the Manila facility. Between January 2024 and March 2026, Ether appeared to improve by 40% on standard benchmarks. The improvement wasn't due to better algorithms, it was because the humans got faster, smarter, and more coordinated. They created internal wikis. They shared shortcuts. They built a shadow AI to help them answer faster. A human network simulating a machine. Section 3. The red flags now. Every fraud has a moment where someone could have caught it. With OmniCore, there were dozens. In September 2025, a group of researchers from MIT published a paper questioning Ether's speed. They noted that the model responded more slowly than GPT-4 and that response times correlated suspiciously with Philippine business hours. The paper was dismissed as academic nitpicking. 2 months later, a junior engineer at Google named Raj Patel submitted an anonymous tip to the SEC after noticing an odd pattern. Ether's thinking time increased every Monday morning and decreased every Friday afternoon. Patel analyzed response logs from a public API demo and found that the latency pattern matched shift changes. His tip was flagged but never investigated. Then, in February 2026, a client, a large Midwestern health system, complained that Ether had given identical, verbatim responses to 2 completely different medical cases. The responses were word for word identical because they had been written by the same Tier 2 doctor in Manila, who had been working a double shift and copy-pasted his earlier answer. OmniCore's support team blamed a caching glitch and offered a 10% discount. Section 4. The leak in the crash. Elena Vasquez had been saving her evidence for months. On May 10, 2026, she copied 14 gigabytes of data to an encrypted drive, including Slack messages, payroll records, voice recordings from the Manila facility, and logs showing that 98% of all Ether interactions were handled by humans, not algorithms. She sent the file to 3 journalists at the Wall Street Journal, Reuters, and 404 Media. Then she vanished. The Wall Street Journal broke the story at 9:12 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, May 12. Within 15 minutes, OmniCore's stock, trading under ticker OMCY on the Nasdaq, plummeted 60%. Trading was halted at 9:34 a.m. When it resumed an hour later, it fell another 45%. By noon, the company had lost $400 billion in market capitalization. James Crawford appeared on CNBC at 10:45 a.m., visibly shaken, saying, "I was not aware of the operational structure in Manila." Crawford resigned that evening. His brother Thomas was reportedly hospitalized for exhaustion. The SEC froze the company's assets the following morning. Section 5. The aftermath. As of May 2026, OmniCore is in Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Criminal investigations are underway by the Department of Justice and the Philippine National Bureau of Investigation. More than 10,000 people in 3 countries have lost their jobs. But the story doesn't end there. The fallout has triggered a crisis in the AI industry. Venture capital investment in AI startups dropped 35% in the week following the leak. Regulatory hearings have been scheduled for June.